Okay, so there's a lot of questions that arise when we talk about if parents should have access to their children's social media accounts. Um, some will say yes, some will say no. There's a lot going on in the cyber world as we know it right now. There's a lot of dangerous things that are happening online that our children are unaware. And if they are not educated about the different situations that come to them, it could be very harmful for them. So, children, when they get their devices or cell phones or whatever it might be, especially at a young age, we as parents should lay down some ground rules and check their settings. So, as parents, there is some kind of comfort feeling and not much to worry about when their children explore the social media world. Um, there's a lot of crazy things that are happening right now. For instance, there's predators. There's predators everywhere, especially online, waiting for that 10, 11, 12-year old to make a mistake. Cyberbullying is a big issue right now. Uh, these people, have low self esteem issues. And then those kids with low self esteem issues, they feel ashamed of themselves. And they have a lot of self doubt. So, which in some cases could lead to depression and anxiety. I have a 14-year-old son that has anxiety and depression. And it's very scary sometimes, not knowing, you know, what he's doing online or who's he talking to or what's he doing. So, me as a parent, I do have access to his account in a certain extent, just to make sure everything's going good. Um, so let's talk about predators. So predators, sex predators, um, cults, people that try to get you into different cults, religions, and so on. Um, if your son or daughter has Snapchat, for instance, uh, which I didn't know until I looked at my daughter's one day, there's a setting in there that you can actually go to your friend's Snapchat username or whatever, and under location, it will tell you the exact block, address, where she's located because her phone is set for location on. Um, so when I was on my daughter's, it showed her address, it showed where she's at, like almost all the way down to her bedroom. So that's very important, uh, especially for teenagers. To You need to have that location turned off. Predators easily can just identify themselves as another kid that goes to their school or another school, and then just follow you around, uh, snatch you up down at the park. If you say you're at the mall, um, try not to say I'm having a great time here at the mall with my friends right now, or that goes for parents too when they go on vacation. You don't want to blast that all over Facebook to let people know that you're not going to be in town, so now your house can just get broken into. It's the same deal. Um, there's also suicide, suicide thoughts. There's suicide sites for kids that have those thoughts. You can even go to suicide pages and they tell you how to commit suicide. It's very scary, especially like I said, with having a teenager that is depressed or has anxiety. You do not want that. It's very scary, very scary. Um, so if your child is not educated, I, if they're just not educated enough, then you should have access. Now there is pros and cons to that, but I'll get to that here in a little bit. But um, make sure they just know the dangers and what lies ahead of them if they're not careful. Um, so yeah, many of us have children. Me myself, I have four. Uh, 16, 14, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Um, Different generations. So we started over when we turned 30. So they're in their own world now with having cell phones. They didn't get cell phones until they were in 7th or 8th grade. They didn't like it. They were about 11 and 12 years old. Um, Very strict rules when it comes to them having cell phones, and we sat down and spoke and let them know, what you can and cannot do, or there's consequences. A lot of people will say, no, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't be in your kid's business, but my kid is always going to I'm always going to be in their business until they're old enough to get out of this house, and I'll probably still be in their business when they leave. So um, just sit them down, let them know the dangers, let them know the locations, the predators, the sites, just everything that needs to keep them safe. So chat rooms. There's a lot of chat rooms for different ages, sex appeal, suicide, kids with anxiety, kids with depression. I mean, there's just chat rooms for everything. So if you, like I do, have a child that has depression, anxiety, and he's in one of those chat rooms and gets started talking about, oh, he's so depressed right now, and then another kid jumps in and says, oh, so am I. Give me a call or something, and you you don't want to be that parent that comes home one day and you know something sad happened. And then you look at his phone or his laptop or something, and it's showing a suicide page, or it's have control, especially with your child if he has these kind of things with their social media accounts to an extent. Lay down the ground rules. I said that before. Get into the private settings. Make sure locations are turned off for the predators types, and just do all that stuff. Those little things, just those little things, will help you prevent a lot of issues in their near future with the online social media stuff. Um, some parents, sorry, some parents have different opinions about it. Some would say that maybe you're controlling. I don't find it controlling in my circumstance, but a lot of people will. Some will say you don't have any. Your kid has no responsibility. How are you going to trust them? If you're already not trusting them at such a young age, and they're going to grow up to not think you trust them or whatnot. Again, every household's different, so yeah. There is pros and cons to some of this stuff. So having the login information and stuff for your kids' social media, it grants you access to their friends, their conversations, and their pictures. It allows you to see who they're communicating with, which can help hold them accountable for any actions that they might do. More importantly, you can control their privacy settings. Um, this enables you to question subject matters and have meaningful conversations with your child about internet safety. In the long run, paying more attention to your kids and interests can help you form a stronger and better relationship as well. Um, Now, the cons to that would also, having your kids log in accounts can undermine any sense of trust that you might have worked for to getting to the stage where you're at with them right now, or her. If you have unlimited access to your children's information, uh, it's tempting to overstep your boundaries as a parent. You can strain your parent, you and your son or daughter's relationship, and even their friends. Um, when you take control of your kids' accounts, it doesn't help. It's not really helping them learn responsibility for themselves as well. So take into consideration of just sitting down, talking to your children. Let them know um, the stuff that happens on the internet, give them a little examples, show them, educate them, and yes, thanks for watching.